How you doing, big guy?
Hey man, we're good. And this is a normal day.
6:06. It's not bad. Definitely an earlier start compared to other events, but gotta get it in because it's gonna get hot today. It's gonna be like the hottest day I think of the year today.
You nervous this morning?
Just a little bit.
Decided tonight I'm staying alive, just kicking and screaming. Alive,
This week's Throwdown is a memorial for Lazar Dukic.
On a running clock for time, 3 rounds of 30 calories on the rower and 10 bar muscle ups. Rest 3 minutes. 3 rounds of 30 calories on the rower, 15 strict handstand push-ups. Rest 3 minutes. And then 3 rounds of 10 bar muscle ups and 15 strict handstand push-ups.
Today we are doing a Lazar memorial workout that we ended up doing from a year ago and remembering of him. Pretty much during this whole workout, the whole focus was just kind of like remembering all the good times that we had together and interactions, and kind of while you're like digging in and pushing here, it's kind of like always remembering that it could always be worse. You know, I think like we're here and we get to work out, and I think that sometimes like why doing hero workouts and those kind of things just give you a different perspective of when you're going into these, of being able to dig in and push a little bit more. And I think for me, just that was kind of like one of the reasons and focuses I was trying to keep my head at versus going down a dark rabbit hole. I remember last year doing this and crying pretty much the whole entire workout. So a little bit better.
Probably really fresh.
Yeah.
Not that it hasn't been that long.
No.
Would he whoop your ass in this workout?
Yes, probably. I would say so. I mean, these are definitely movements that he is very good at, and something that he was always very quick and then would make fun of me about or something. But yeah, this is something he's definitely good at.
When did you meet him?
Back in probably 2018-ish, around that time frame, back in Dubai, and then we spent time out in Madrid, where we spent a decent amount of time, and then more or less just kind of like at all the comps throughout the years leading up. And then, I think he was one of the first persons at this past year games that I ran into at the local gym, like dropping into before the week of the games to get some training in, and more or less was making fun of me about all the kids I have, and I needed to get a school bus for all of them. And then
Have you considered
your
getting
car
the bus?
is kind of like a school bus.
I do have a big, I have to. I have to. The only other option I think would be a minivan, and I've committed that I'll never get a minivan.
Why? Have you rented one? They're pretty sweet these days.
When I was, when was that? I actually had to drive my mom's when I was like 19 or 20, because like couldn't afford the truck payment my dad gave me. He was like, hey, if you want this truck, you can take it and keep it. And I like couldn't afford it because I just kept spending money. Like, right, you're a kid.
Where are we going?
And then it was like, hey, give me the truck back, because now you're not like paying for it, and then you're gonna take mom's minivan. And then I'm pretty sure I was traumatized by that point.
What year is this? I'm talking like a 2025 minivan.
No, I'm talking like, hey, the roof was pretty much caving in.
Yeah, you can't judge all minivans
the
by that.
cassette was on the floor when I was listening to my Eminem, and then like,
get back to this workout.
No, but I think, yeah. So for the workout today, for me and Brent a couple weeks ago actually worked on some like muscle up technique, because he was making fun of me about how it could be better.
You get made fun of a lot, huh?
I do, and that's okay. I like it.
You also make fun of other people a lot.
I do. It's a two-way street. But just try to work on honestly keeping like a bigger hip drive and being a little bit more patient. I think kind of when I go back, I break a lot with my knees, and I'm trying to keep a straighter position and more hollow. It of course is kind of hard for me, just like with that extension getting into.
I noticed you were turning over way higher than normal today.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Travis.
Yeah, I came.
Go.
There was some deeper motivation, I think, on this one. And
for sure.
Something that you're kind of just trying to get through, and then like do it to the best of your kind of like ability at that point. I knew based off of last year doing this kind of like what it was kind of like. I just try to pick paces that I kind of knew were a little uncomfortable, but something that wasn't going to like blow me up into the bar muscle ups, and try to hold those unbroken the whole time. And then the same thing going into the handstand push-ups, like still trying to pick a pace I know I can sustain, where like the transition's fairly quick to still keep it unbroken from there.
So you started in the 1400s on the row, and then I think the lowest you got was
I think
like high 1300s.
Yeah.
So you were pretty consistent throughout. For everyone planning their strategy, I would take that and dial it way back. But pick something that you think that you can maintain for what's 90 times 2, 180 calories on the rower.
Yeah.
And don't start out faster than that. And that's coming from Travis, who's the king of starting out fast and figuring it out. But
not
even
always.
he knew that he needed to pace this one.
Yeah, this one I knew I needed to pace and just come out not super hot, just because the density towards the end, even though you have that 3-minute rest in between each one, it still really starts to add up once you get into that final set of bar muscle up and handstand push up. So my goal was trying to keep a consistent road to where like I felt recovered enough to be able to kick kind of straight up. I knew the last set of handstand push-ups was going to kind of be a grind to still keep unbroken, but still being able to like keep a fast speed of movement. I think when you are going into this, even if you go 5-5-5, like is completely fine if you're keeping the breaks pretty moderate and short, and that will allow you to still make up a lot of time from there.
Yeah, so the overall volume here is 60 bar muscle ups and 90 strict handstand push-ups. So that is a lot. I think also because this is a memorial workout, it's also a good opportunity to, if this volume is something that you're just going to end up doing singles and just dragging it out, to find a partner and do the work with them. And I think that helps to even bring like more meaning to these kind of workouts, is to share it with somebody else. So I think that, if you're looking at this total volume and that's just too much for you to get any sort of like good training stimulus out of, I definitely recommend finding a partner and working through it together.
That's what we did last year. I remember it was like when we did it on Saturday as the big group, it was partner for everybody. And then I remember I wanted to do it kind of like as a solo thing. And then now this year we're doing it as the throwdown. But even at that point, you're still doing 30 bar muscle ups and
it's still a lot
45
of
strict handstand push-ups. So
if you do partner, I'd say both of you row the 30 cals at the same time and then split the rest of the work. That's still still really good workout.
Yeah.
All right, so done with the second part. Rowing is done. So now what are you thinking going into just bar muscle ups and strict handstand push-ups? So this is going to be way more dense than the other two pieces.
Oh yeah, I filmed. I was like, where did I just go?
Where did you go?
I went to get sweatbands. My hands were getting really sweaty on the handstand push-up, and I knew going into this again, that's kind of like why I kind of chalked the floor a little bit right there. For me, it was more try to see if you could hold unbroken on the bar muscle up, or at least get pretty close. I knew the handstand push-ups I was going to have to break up to some degree, just the volume at that point, and combined with muscle ups for me, the density like really packs on after the first round. Like my shoulders and triceps just kind of feel like they are going, which of course makes sense at that point. But just remembering kind of like the whole point of like why you're doing this, and it's like, all right, it doesn't really matter, just like kick back up, just try to keep the breaks as short as you can and just keep moving the whole time.
Did you have a number set for strict handstand push-ups, or were you just gonna go
No,
by feel?
it was more by feel, because sometimes I feel I can get in, might be able to do like a 9-6 combo. Sometimes it's, hey, I'm gonna go unbroken, and then I feel like,
so you let gravity decide.
yeah. For me, it just makes more sense because it's like I might be able to do a bigger set on round one. And for me, I know internally what my body feels like of like, hey, how many more can I really go? I mean, I think I'm probably like 2 or 3 short of like failure almost at that point, and then just try to kick down. And then when you're going back up again, finding that same kind of rhythm. But I think if in the first set of the row handstand push-up, you were having to break up, I think break this up more than like what you think. Whether that's 6-4 on the bar muscle up, 4-4-2 or 4-3, whatever, 3.
You just saying numbers?
Yeah, I'm saying numbers. I'm thinking about bar muscle ups and stuff in it, but I think just like pick smaller numbers that you're going into at that point and breaking it up.
For strict handstand push-ups, athletes, there seems to be like 2 different buckets of athletes. There's the ones that like linear sets, so they would do like 5s the whole way, just keep chipping away at 5s. I personally do really poorly with that. I need to like front load them. So if I have a set of 15, I'll usually open up with like a AMRAP minus 2 to 3, so stopping 2 to 3 reps before I feel like I would fail or get a really grindy rep in, and then rest and just kind of repeat that, knowing that the number is going to go down with each set. But for me, that helps me chip away without like over resting between sets. But I know some people, they're really good at like 2 kick down, 2 kick down. So just know what's best for you and come up with strategy based on that.
I'm definitely more like that. I like to just take bigger sets and then take my break and then go into it. I have a really hard time if it's like, hey, hold fives the whole time. Like I just don't do well like that, where I'm like, hey, let me go almost to failure, drop down, and then kick back up and then just keep chipping away. Might not be the most efficient, but it works for me.
So 5 there. The last set you did, is this your final set?
Yeah, I went
Yeah,
5,
so your
5,
final
5 the
set. So you did
last
5.
2 sets.
Cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you ever feel like you were over resting between the handstand push-up sets? Or did you feel like it was
I kind of
what
knew
you
I
needed?
was pretty close to, I mean, I'm not really sure the time. In my head, I try to count to like 10 down, even though I know it's not necessarily 10 seconds, but in my head, it's like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and then just try to go. And then a couple times I could hear you just saying something, and then that just like kind of snaps me out, like, okay, just go, like take the chance. But towards the end, I mean, I was getting pretty close to like max effort of pressing from there. Like you can just feel it.
I know
like,
I give this advice a lot, but I think specifically for strict handstand push-ups, it rings very true, is to be aware of your rest breaks and focus more on that versus your actual sets, because you can really bleed time on strict handstand push-up rest breaks. So you could tell yourself before the workout, like, I'm going to start with 10-second rest. When I need to, I'll go to 15, but I'm never going to rest more than 15 seconds, even if that means that your sets get smaller. And then what you'll find actually as you go through it is you might be able to even bring that rest break down as your sets are getting smaller, and then you're not just like over resting to still do small sets.
Yeah.
So that wasn't your last set, right?
This is it. Yeah. This is the final one. I mean, it was more just like my hands honestly felt super sweaty, and it felt like that was the biggest thing kind of like causing me to kind of kick down. I mean, besides the tricep fatigue and pressing.
Here's a dumb question, but let's do it. If this workout had came out and it had nothing to do with Lazar and it wasn't a memorial workout, and you did it that way versus obviously doing it this way, what do you think the difference in your time is?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I think it's more just for me, forcing the focus of like, hey, you need to like just be present and know that like you're still here, like doing this. So it like kind of forces you to just like kick back up, like knowing like you get to go home and see your kids every day. Like I feel like that kind of thing, and like he'll never get to do that again. So I think for me, it's more just like being present in the moment with it. I don't really know how much difference of a time. I think it just means more.
Yeah.
Good answer to a weird question.
Yeah.
I said it was dumb,
Yeah.
All right.
but then Travis said it was good.
Yeah.
So
Goes both ways. Yeah.
Nice job, Trav.
Good luck, everybody. Remember why you're doing this. I mean, I think that's something to take into consideration. That's why we do these, is in remembering of them, remembering all the good things, the good times. Even if you didn't know him, he was a pretty special person, and lit up the whole entire room. And we miss you, buddy.